Alright, everyone, welcome to episode number 36 of Everyday Thoughts, and let's get straight into it. So, when you are in a situation that is packed with negative thoughts, I'd say, or just negative energy in general, for example, you're pissed off or fucking somebody stepped on your shoe or something, um, don't just lash out on them or don't say anything negative before you ask yourself, um, one thing, and that is it really important? Or you can ask yourself, is the reaction I have right now really worth the whole hassle that comes with it? So, what I mean, for example, when somebody steps on your shoe, or you have an argument with a fucking friend or something, and it's just an unnecessary reaction that you have in retrospect, but in the moment, because you're filled with emotion, you're like, man, fuck off. Like, what the fuck you're doing, bro? Just fuck you. It's like, if you ask yourself that question, you're gonna reduce your negative actions by so much. And by doing that, first of all, you're not gonna be seen as a negative person that gets irritated by anything. But you will also mitigate so many petty fights, petty ideas, and just having a petty image of yourself. So this is especially important for relationships when you have like this, well, I told you so. I told you so. It's like, you could have done this because I told you, but you didn't listen. It's like, it's you're just trying to prove a point. You're trying to be right, but what does that bring with you? Well, you feel good for a fucking 10 seconds. You have an ego boost because you were right. But in the end, it just creates that petty energy that builds on just a bigger conflict that can end quite badly. And that can be just avoided at all costs. And that just comes back again to the rule that small things compound to something big. And that applies to the negative as well. So, just try to avoid it. Or if you can't avoid it, like if you can still answer the question with, like, is it really worth it? And you can still answer it with yes. Well, then fuck it. Just lash out if it's like really worth it. And of course, you're aware of the consequences if something does happen. Then, what also is really important and also applicable to that situation, I'd say, is stretching your vision. So, what I mean by that is, don't just look into the present moment that you are in right now. Of course, feeling present when you're doing something is a really good idea, but when you're trying to, how can I say that? When you're in a situation and you are, for example, talking with somebody, and in the present they might seem like fucking, I don't know, they're stupid or something. It's just supposed to be an example. But they have a quality that actually is much of a benefit, and they have a really good attitude. And it's not even like they're stupid, but for example, like they have a broken arm, but they want to apply for a sports team. And they have been a really good sportsman before that. And they have a really good attitude. They want to get back into sports. They have really good like team building or just team skills in general. But in the present moment, they have a broken arm, so they can't do the sport. In the present moment, it might not make sense to recruit that person into a team because they have a broken arm. But in hindsight, or just in the long run, it's actually a good idea, or it would be a good idea to recruit that person into a team because they have all those good qualities, and it's just a temporary blockade or challenge or obstacle that they have to overcome or that they're faced with at the moment. But you know that they will probably overcome with time, and the benefit just outweighs the current negative or the present negative by so much that it would be just stupid to not take them. And that's what I mean by like expanding our vision into the future mostly, because what you're going to do by that, or what you're achieving by that, is not just looking at the current circumstances, but at what things can be. And that's a really important thing, what things can be. And what applies to that, of course, is if you think negatively, of course, you're gonna pull more negativity towards you, and it's probably gonna go a downward spiral. But on the other hand, if you think positively and about success, it's probably gonna go up. And success as well as failure isn't just a linear curve, but it's like more exponential. So it's like this or this. So it's like, I think Jordan Peterson said it's a very interesting way of looking at it. When you're failing or like you're falling, you're running down, going down a waterfall, and all of a sudden there's just a cliff, and you fall down and you can't get up. But when you are successful, it's probably going to start out slow. You're going to have slow steps, but you're going to build onto that. You're going to compound all the things. And then you might reach a point where it just skyrockets. And when that skyrockets, you get more opportunities. More success. So it's like, look beyond just the present, and of course, think positively if you can, or just by any means try to think positively and about success. It's not like, oh yeah, my circumstances are shit, I can't do anything about it. But it's like, yeah, I know my circumstances are shit, but just for the moment, I know they're not gonna be in 2 years. I know I'm gonna be at the top. So it's just, I know I have to deal with this at the moment, but it doesn't matter in the long run, because I know I won't be stuck in here. And yes, then the last thing I'd have, I'm not 100% sure about this thought, again, or like this idea, but then again, these are just thoughts, and that would be to make somebody else's business your business as well. So what I mean by that is, when somebody else has a problem, it's also your problem, and you try to help them. On the one hand, I think it's not a bad idea, because you get more empathetic, you help the people, you build more connections, better friendships, etc. But on the other hand, you're kind of just sticking your nose into everyone's business, and not everyone will like it or appreciate it, and it will just be like you're that one arrogant guy who just tries to help fucking everyone. So I think it really depends on the situation, on the context, but it's a really double-edged sword. So you have to know how to yield it. But if you know how to, and you find a situation that it's appropriate for, then of course, by all means, go for it. And on that note, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you. Bye.